What's going on, family? What's going on, family? Greetings to you all. Shalom to you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for joining. Like, share. This is one of those videos. I generally don't tell you to like and share, but these type of videos are the videos that is very important for you to like, share, invite someone. Shalom to everybody. Greetings to you all. And shalom to many of you as well. Grace, peace, and many blessings to you all. And hello, greetings to all the family. Thank you all for tuning in. Invite someone that you know it has received a revelation of who they are as far as their heritage is concerned. This is going to be a very important thing that I think I may have to do a series on, but I want to just touch on some things. A shalom to you as well, Brother Fenton, and what's going on to all the Boom family tuning in, Boom Atlanta and Boom Jacksonville, as well as my Rebirth family, Rebirth of a Nation family, and everyone that's tuning in. Greetings, shalom, grace, peace, and many blessings. I'm not going to be long, I promise you that, because I'm actually in the car. So you know that this is not going to be. Yesterday we did an hour, so we did good. We scaling down the time. I generally, at one point in time, I used to do 3-hour lessons, and then I realized that many brothers and sisters were at work and had to respect their time, so we had to scale it down. And I got it down to 2 hours, and now I got it down to an hour. So I'm so excited about that. And hopefully we can work it down to 45 minutes and get all that we need to get in those 45 minutes. But shalom to many of you. Shalom, greetings, grace, peace, and many blessings. Definitely invite someone that you know that is young. Hello to my brother, my dear brother, Pastor. I can't call him Elder but for the sake of his Facebook page, Elder George Warrell, who is going to be speaking at the Proverbs 20 Men's Conference on Friday, the night before the Proverbs 31 Women's Conference. I love him. I love his heart. And grace, peace, and many blessings. And he will definitely be speaking in our congregation real soon, Boom Atlanta. And we're going to definitely be doing some fellowshipping. What's going on, my brother Jalen? How you doing? Definitely thanks for everybody that is sharing and inviting someone who is a babe, who is young, who is just now, who are seeking the level of information, or who has accepted it as a babe and as a young one. All of my Ox and Okotes, brothers and sisters. But what I want to talk to you about is, I want to talk to you about mistakes that Hebrew babes make, that it seems to be that no one is having a discussion about, no one is talking about, no one is giving any form of guidance or revelation when it comes down to this. You have to understand how important it is to make sure that, hello, my new friend, pretty young thing. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I know this is your first live or whatnot, probably. But thank you. You sent me a friend request this morning. And Smiley Don, what's going on, brother? That no one is talking about or having a discussion on regarding this revelation. Okay, it's very important that we understand as babes. And I want to speak to, I've been in this for a while, for several years, but I'm also still growing, but I've been in your position before. It's very important that you understand that your zeal can get you in trouble. Let me just pause right there. Lady Janessa, what's going on? What's going on, Lady Janessa? Sister Patricia, how you doing? Your zeal can put you in a position of trouble. Because the fact that your knowledge does not equate to your zeal. That's the first thing you need to understand. You become very zealous when you come into this revelation. You become very zealous. And your zeal, oftentimes, the majority of the time, your zeal gets you in trouble. Your zeal have you fighting against everyone who's trying to help you. I want y'all to listen to me. I want you to listen, because ain't nobody talking about this. But I'm going to talk about it. Because I love you guys so much, and I care about you guys so much. What's going on, Shalom, Brother Derek? I care about you so much, and oftentimes, many people, many pastors, many parents reach out to me and tell me about their son and their daughter who is young and not only in age, but also young in maturity in spirit. And they reach out to me all the time wanting me to consult with them and speak with them regarding certain things because of this awakening, or because they come into this form of revelation. And the basic and the common denominator of this all is that this particular individual, whether they're male or female, their zeal causes them to become an enemy to the very people that the God has awakened them to reach. Their zeal of wanting everyone to know, and they haven't even gotten this down in their being yet. This has not even resolved in them yet, in you yet. You're a babe. You have zeal. But your knowledge does not match your level of zeal. And there are plenty of people out here who may not have the knowledge, but they're solidified in what they know to the point to where your zeal calls you to engage them, and your zeal calls you to make you look like a fool. Your zeal will cause you to get in trouble. Okay, you've awakened. You've come into this revelation. Your zeal will cause you to become an enemy to the church. None of us have been given this revelation to become an enemy to the church. I want y'all to listen. See, the problem is we think when we start talking about the word church, we're not talking about organization. Christ did not construct what we know as the congregation, the church, the assembly, the ecclesia, whatever you want to title you want to throw in it. He never awakened you or gave you this revelation for you to become an enemy or to come against the body. And the problem is this. Is so many babes become an enemy, all because you have a level of zeal. Everybody has zeal. And this is the thing. We're going to deal with 5 things here that I want you babes to listen to me on, that will help you, that will help your calling, that will help your purpose, and the reason for your revelation. Remember, we are members of a body, which means every part of the body is important, But some parts of the body does things more than other parts. That doesn't mean it's less important or more important. And unfortunately, we have cancers in the body. We have cancers, not only cancers in the body, but we also have those things that perpetrate as limbs, but really are there to kill you. Cancers, viruses. You have viruses in your body that are dormant, that's waiting for the correct and the correct time and opportunity to reveal itself. People walk around all the time with different viruses, but as soon as the immune system goes down, as soon as the immune system starts lowering itself down, all of a sudden, the virus takes control. Nobody's talking about this. In fact, people who are viruses are encouraging you to go against the very area that the Father has called you to assist. But your zeal is going to get you in trouble every time. This is why your family don't want to deal with you. This is why friends don't want to deal with you. This is why the church don't want to talk to you. It's because your zeal is causing you to be an enemy to the place you're supposed to be helping. You think because you got a revelation of who you are, you're ready to go out and battle with everybody. Brothers and sisters, no one in the scriptures who was awakened to anything, even David, who was revealed as king, did not the next day after the revelation came start becoming a king. It was a process to it. When Christ called the disciples and he called the 12, when he called them brothers, Peter and all the Matthew and all of them, when he met them, he spoke to them, said, hey, come follow me. As soon as they came to follow him, the next day they didn't go out teaching. But you have nobody. All these so-called leaders in Israel, all these so-called Hebrew teachers, ain't none of them telling you this. And when you become an enemy to your family and become an enemy to the body that you're supposed to be helping and to everybody you're trying to reach, don't no one come assist you and speak to you and tell you to sit down, let's talk about this, let me show you the process that you must go through. They leave you out to dry. They leave you out hanging. And you find yourself being a loner. You're not a loner. You're a renegade. You're not a revolutionary. You're a renegade. One who has no responsibility, one who aren't accountable and does not have responsibility. You're not a revolutionary. You are a renegade. And I've come to tell you, brothers and sisters, and ain't nobody gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. That's why people don't want to deal with you. You think it's because you got some form of truth that they don't want to accept. No, they don't want to deal with you because simply the Father is the one who's closing their ears to your voice. Because you're not ready yet. Which leads me to point number 2. Your emotions. When you come into this revelation, your emotions go crazy. You mad at everybody. How can you go bring healing and awaken anybody and you angry? You mad at everybody. It's the pastor's fault. It's your mama them fault. It's your cousin's fault. It's the government fault. It's the world fault. Have you ever thought of this? Have you ever thought that the reason why nobody ever told you this, maybe it's because it's the Father who's the one opened you up to this form of revelation? Maybe the pastor ain't got it. Maybe the Father wants to use you to reveal it to him. But you're too mad at him because you think he should be teaching something that he had no revelation about. How in the world can anybody come teach you how to fish when they never fished themselves? How can anybody teach you how to program a game when they never been to school for video programming? How can anybody teach you how to put together an airplane or assemble anything when they don't even have those areas? How can a doctor teach you how to do a heart transplant when he's never been to school to learn how to do heart transplant? But you mad at him because he didn't tell you this. No, why don't you go talk to thank the Lord that he revealed it to you, and go sit your behind down somewhere until he give you the okay to go ahead and start speaking and giving revelation. Because ultimately it ain't you or your teachings or nothing that's going to waken them up to this, to reveal to them what's going on. It's still the Spirit at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's still the Spirit that draws men, not your level of understanding, not your level of education. I don't care how many precepts you got. I don't care how much prophecy you know. I don't care if you know who all the nations on the earth was in past time, in modern day, and in the future. I don't care if you know who Esau is. I don't care if you know who any of these is. I don't care if you know who anybody is. If the Spirit not with you, they ain't gonna hear you. Period. Point blank, period. Your emotions are out of control, which cause you not to be fit to teach. You cannot teach out of emotions. You cannot teach, and you're not qualified to reach anyone out of your carnal emotions. This is where babes find themselves getting rejected. And you don't look at yourself. You don't look at yourself as the one being the problem. You are the problem. We as babes, when you're a babe, you are the problem. You are the problem. It's not the person that's the problem. And then the thing is that, okay, the thing is your emotions start causing you to make claims and make things and start saying stuff. Then you want to go off on people. Then you want to sit around and you wonder why your wife don't want to listen to you. You wonder why your husband don't want to deal with you. Because why? Because they're seeing you go through these changes. One day you're angry, you're acting crazy. The next day you're cool. Then guess what? Then you want to put everything on the family in one day. Oh, you got to stop this. Oh, you got to stop that. You can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. Then you find yourself parading around, walking around the house like Saul, breathing threatenings out, trying to find out who's doing something wrong so you can correct him. And if that's not rectified, you will find yourself, as time go on, 10 years in to know who you are, and yet you walk around breathing out threatenings and breathing out rage and anger, looking at everybody, trying to correct everybody on everything. Then you got other brothers running around here telling you, oh yeah, you know, that she don't want to bow down to you, then you need to leave her. Now, wait, hold on. First, wait a minute. Come on now. That's a bunch of foolishness. You're around here, running around. I mean, watch it out, everything. Now your awakening becomes a curse. Maybe why don't you go through your process, and then after you work through all the stuff you go, because I'm telling you, it's going to take you a good year to calm down your emotions. That's why I tell brothers and sisters, when they come talking to me and they say, hey man, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? That's why I tell you, okay, let's agree. If you say that this is what the Father is telling you, you can't teach for a year. Now, I didn't throw the 10 years on you that I went through. I didn't throw the 10, 11-year process on you that I went through. I threw the year on you. You can't teach, open your mouth, or discuss anything or try to change or correct anybody, you can't do nothing for a year. And you know what ended up happening? They can't even go 2 months. You can't post nothing on Facebook. You can't talk to nobody. You can't correct nobody. You can't try to teach nobody. You can't do none of that. Because it's going to take you a whole year for your emotions to calm down. You're going to be mad at your parents. You're going to be mad at your pastor. You're going to be mad at any and everybody. So therefore, you need to just chill out and allow your emotions to get over it, to settle down. So that way, the blessing does not become a curse. You shouldn't even be going to your pastor with this for a year. Because let me tell you something. You may be correct. Your pastor may not know, or he may not be, educated enough, or whatever you want to call it. But I can tell you one thing. That you as a babe trying to run up on your pastor, you're not even qualified to deal with him yet. Because your doctrine hasn't even been resolved yet. You don't even have an apologetic for the questions he's going to ask you. And guess what? You make yourself look like a fool and you kill your witness. You can't get mad at your pastor because he's not teaching what you've been revealed. Oh my gosh. You cannot get mad at your pastor because he's not teaching what's been revealed to you. You know why? Because maybe that's your assignment. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about maybe that's your assignment and maybe the Father want to use you to reveal some things to him, and then revealing things to him behind the scenes and y'all going back and forth and you showing him different things like that? Maybe the Father want to use you as an example of something, revealing something to him, because all of us are still growing. We only know in part. None of us have the full revelation of these scriptures. None of us have the fullness understanding of anything. I don't care how much you talk about, how much you talk. We only know in part. And there's some parts of the body that needs to know more things, okay? Just like the brain has to know all of these things in order to make sure it sends signals to different parts of the body to do different things. Christ is the head. He knows it all. But if you're armed, you don't know everything. In fact, the arm is only concerned about what's going on with the arm, because therefore the brain or the head tells the arm what to do. It tells the arm what to do. You can't get mad at your pastor. And then maybe, if you trust the process of you coming into this revelation, and then you turn around after you trust the process to come into this revelation, and you sit down with your pastor and he sees the witness, he sees the process, he sees the growth, the Spirit will begin to deal with him, and then he'll come to you and say, hey, February is coming. I think it'll be a great opportunity in February, because everybody knows February Black History Month. Okay? In February, why don't you put something together to present this to the congregation? But that's only after you work through your issues. Because I'm going to tell you, there's things that I believed 5, 6, 7 years ago that I no longer believe because I had to come into a revelation. But you didn't get a chance to see that. You know why? because I was accepting and willing to sit my behind down to go through the process of working through all of these different emotional issues and all this other stuff, working through family issues and all these different things that I had to go through in order for me to come into a revelation and be able to walk in what and speak what the Father has told me to speak and do. But it took a process. And fortunately, nobody was able to see the things that I went through, back for the different things that I used to, that I believed at one point in time, that I no longer believe now because of revelation. And when you're seasoned and you're ready, then the Father will begin to open doors for you because he trusts you. Right now, when you're a babe at this level that you are right now, again, the first year you're going to be working through, you need to get over your emotions. The first 3 years, you're trying to find out what type of doctrine is true. The first 3 years, because there's so many people, all right? It's so many people on social media. You're going to go through different doctrines. You're going to go through this doctrine, that doctrine. You're going to be dealing with this doctrine for about 4 months. Then you're going to come across somewhere else and find out, well, that doctrine wasn't true because somebody cut them in that area. Then you're going to find out that somebody cut that person in that area. You're going to go through all these doctrines in 3 years until the Father begins to deal with you and then sit you down and you begin to work through and pray and fast. And then the Father begin to reveal things to you in the scriptures that he didn't reveal the 3 or 4 people of doctrines that you went through following them. Why? Because those people have emotional issues too and unresolved issues that they are still dealing with. So you're going to go through all of these range of emotions and different things of that nature, trying to figure out what's true, what's not true. And let me tell you something. The worst thing that you can do, and I would advise any of you, the worst thing you can do is go on YouTube and listen to everybody. Go on Facebook and listen to everybody. Find one person that you're listening to, even if they might be wrong. Okay? Find one person. Stop jumping around listening to everybody. And another thing that's the worst thing you can do as a babe is go on Facebook and send friend requests to everybody that got a Hebrew name. That's the worst thing you can do. That's the worst thing you can do. In fact, I would advise you, don't do that. Do not do that. Don't be sending no friend. Oh, let me go on Facebook and I got to find people that think like me. All because you mad because don't nobody else don't want to receive what you saying because you're not ready yet. You're not skilled yet. You're not seasoned yet for people to hear you. So therefore, the Father keep people's ears closed until you're ready. Until he's able to trust you with these revelations that he's showing you and giving you, he's going to keep people's ears closed for your sake and their sake. Don't go on that sending no friend requests to all these folks. They got, oh, I got a record. And come to find out, you sending friend requests to all these people. And come to find out, they at odds with one another. All of the people that you sending friend requests to, all of them with all these Hebrew names, some of them you can read, some of them you can't read, all this other stuff, you find out that all of these folks are at odds with one another. So you're mad at your pastor because he ain't teaching what you think he should be teaching. You're mad at your mama because your mama and your daddy, okay, don't want to doggone accept nothing you're saying. You're mad at the church because everybody in the church saying you're crazy, okay? You're mad at your wife and your kids because don't none of them want to listen to you. And the reason being is because you going around trying to tell everybody how wrong they are, and they ask you one question and you can't answer it. And now you mad at them because they mad at you because you sitting right here telling them that they wrong, but you ain't got no answers for nothing they asking you. You have become an enemy to the body. You become an enemy to your family. All because you got zeal, but you ain't got no knowledge. Your zeal will get you in trouble. So I'm going to tell you straight up, you come to me, sit your behind down for a year. You ain't going to be, I'm telling you, you ain't going to be, unless the spirit just move like that, you ain't going to, you come over here, you ain't going to be just outright getting up on no platform and teaching and all this other stuff and want to run around here and go tell them. I tell y'all straight up quick, look here, man. Don't call me. This is another thing that I'm getting tired of folks doing. You turn around, you want to call me after you done went to your pastor and your pastor done chin checked you, and now you ain't had no answers, and now you want to come calling me, asking me to talk to your pastor. I ain't talking to him. Because if you came to me first, I would have told you, go sit your behind down. You ain't got no business going to challenge him on nothing, and you ain't even ready to, you don't even know yourself. You still going through an emotional, okay, tirade, all right? You going through all of these different things. Don't call me, don't tag me. I'm not answering, I'm not replying to no tags, and y'all want to start fights and stuff, and then you want to tag people after you start fights, so you want to fall back because you ain't got no answers. All this stuff is crazy. Nobody or any elder with wisdom should not be getting involved in a babe when they starting fights. Shouldn't be getting involved in that. So you're going through all these wide range of emotions, okay? The next thing, the third thing is, don't try to go out here proclaiming nothing. Stop trying to proclaim, hey, you know you an Israelite, you know you Hebrew. How you know they is? How do you know they is? That's another thing, y'all brothers, y'all babes, stop that. Because guess what the next question gonna be? The next question gonna be, how you know? And you know what's gonna end up happening? You ain't got no answers. You ain't got no answers. The first thing you're gonna do is, you're gonna run to Deuteronomy 28, and you done ran to Deuteronomy 28 10 times. And they're gonna ask you, what else besides that? I need some more evidence. You ain't got nothing. Guess what? At that point, you're gonna get mad. Then you're gonna go to somebody, you're gonna get mad. And guess what? Everybody gonna get on the phone, and they're gonna talk about how crazy you is. And you know what I'm going to say? Yeah, right. Yeah, you are crazy. Because you ain't got no business running around here trying to teach nothing that ain't even worked in you yet. That's resolved in you yet. It ain't worked in you. It hasn't resolved in you. You don't know. You know nothing. You a babe. You just woke up yesterday. The Father just gave you a revelation yesterday. This is why it's very important to have people that are mature, that are leaders, that are elders, that you can doggone listen to, that someone can take you under their wing and teach you the process. Because many people have gone through the same things you going through, but the problem is you want it too fast. You don't want a crock pot. You want microwave. And guess what happens? When you have a microwave revelation, okay? When you have a microwave revelation, oftentimes majority of the time, microwave food don't taste as good as a crock pot. That's why when it was time for David, the Father organically created a situation for him to move and walk into what he was called to be. He got the revelation first, then he went and sat his behind back down somewhere. Jeremiah got the revelation, then he went through a process of what do you see? He went through a development process. Moses went through a situation, came to the burning bush. He didn't just leave right then and leave and go back to Egypt. No, he went through a process as well. The disciples, all of them, nobody wakes up today or coming to a revelation that God has given them and they just go out tomorrow. It don't work like that. Then he's like, oh man, my family against me. Don't know. Then you get with other people who got the same situation you got, and both of y'all are feeding one another. Yeah, they don't want to hear this truth. I'm like, brother, how long you been? Oh man, a year, 6 months. Huh? A year, 6 months. A year, even 3 years. Like, huh? You doing what? Then you start seeing brothers, other brothers, doors opening for them, people listening to them, and you wonder why the God is giving them opportunity to talk with people, sit down with people, give revelation to people. You know why? Because God trusts them. God knows that they're not going to act like a fool. They went through their process of acting like a fool before they were sent. Before you're sent, you got to sit. You go through a process of sitting. Sitting takes the fool out of you. Sitting takes the nut out of you. Sitting takes the rebellion out of you. Sitting calls you to be disciplined. That's what sitting does. Of course, patience brings on long suffering, but I would rather suffer long in my patience and be ready when it's time for me to be released than to sit up here and run around, act like a fool, get marked, act crazy, wonder why ain't nobody listening to you, and then you have other people telling you, oh, they don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear this truth. They don't want to hear that truth. Well, I mean, obviously not, because the apostles ain't had this problem. Is everybody going to receive? No, absolutely not. But it should not be more people running from you than running to the Christ in you. It should not be more people running from you than running to the Christ that is in you. I don't care what it is. You can go teach. If the Spirit is with you, people are going to hear it and they're going to receive it. The majority, yes, you're going to have some people that's still not going to receive it, but that's not your problem. But the majority of the people shouldn't be running from you. See, when you go out here prematurely teaching, then you become double-minded too. When you run out here as a babe, I see this all the time. You got folks running around here that's babes. They teaching, oh, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't do this and do that. And then they ain't been in the truth that long. The next thing you know, they turn around and they teach. Now they turn around, well, you can eat whatever you want to eat. And everybody like, what are you talking? Wait a minute. Because when you a babe, when it has not resolved in you, you jump around doctrinally. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Sit, because you're going to be going through the process of listening to all these different people, and you go, either emotions going to be all out of whack. Now you're leading people based off out of your emotions and not out of spirit, and therefore you run around, you confusing everybody. Everybody confused. Can't nobody trust the voice in you. Can't nobody trust to follow you or listen to you on anything. Because you're out of control. Okay? So don't go out here proclaiming, all right? Don't go out here proclaiming, and it hasn't worked in you yet. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared to answer questions. That's the first thing. You have to be prepared to give a response, because if you come in at folks, because this is the worst thing you could do. This is the worst thing that you could do, is go at somebody and tell them, you know, everything you learn is wrong. Let me tell you something. Everybody who say that, everybody lying. There are things that's in the Christian church that is not wrong. There are certain things that they do is not wrong. And there's things that's within the Hebrew understanding and teaching is not true. It's a balance. So now you got to find out, you got to ask the Father to show you the difference between the truths and the lies. That way you can bring this thing together full circle and understanding. Y'all say what y'all want to say. But Big Mama them made it through. And to be honest with you, Big Mama them survive more so, and they can go endure more so than y'all jokers. Y'all telling Big Mama she wrong, but Big Mama knew how to pray. Big Mama knew how to make sure that she endured dealing with folks busting her across the head. Now, y'all can't even deal with no rejection. Somebody reject y'all and tell y'all you ain't telling the truth, and I don't want to listen to that. I ain't receiving that. I don't want to hear that. You run around, you want to shoot up everybody. Big Mama had to worry about the Klan. She had to worry about all these different things that she was going through and dealing with. Big Mama had all these things that she had to deal with and endure, and she could handle it and endure. Y'all jokers can't handle nothing. But y'all got the truth. Y'all can't handle nothing. Y'all can't handle nothing. Because you haven't been processed to be able to handle it. Rejection. Point number 4. Rejection. Everybody's going to go through a process of rejection. It's not the end of the world. When Christ sent out his disciples, he told them, if they don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet. He freed you and liberated you from the responsibility of rejection, of holding on to people who reject you. But he processed them. But they went through some form of process before he sent them out. They didn't just go out. They went through a form of process. Then they were sent out by twos to hold each other accountable. And so both can have a witness of one another and what they're teaching and presenting. And so when they went out, he said, look, man, it's going to be people, you know, if people, you're going to go out, I know it's going to be people going to reject you. When you go out and they reject you, shake the dust off your feet. So he liberated you from holding on to rejection. That's the problem. But you first can't go out angry at people. Because if you go out angry and full of emotions and mad at everybody because God has revealed something to you that he hasn't revealed to others, and you mad about it, and you go out trying to take it out there and present it to people in a form of emotional anger and all these other things, then you're not going to be effective. And then when somebody rejects you, then you hold things in your heart against that person, and therefore now the Father gonna deal with you. So he liberated, he took the responsibility away of you carrying the weight of holding on to rejection. Everybody's going to reject. Everybody didn't accept Christ. Many did. Majority of them did. But there were leaders who was too, the leaders wasn't upset because of what he was doing. They were upset because he started taking the attention from them. But how can, this is the thing. You have to study Christ's character and his integrity and how he dealt with people. That's the thing that during the process of after that year, when I tell brothers and sisters to sit, around the second and third year, okay, around the second and third year is when we start looking, not looking at what Christ said and not looking at all the miracles and him walking on water and him doing all this. No, we're going to look at his character. It's nothing worse than someone going out and trying to win people and bring them into the kingdom with a lack of character, with a lack of integrity. Because what happens is those people that you reach, those people who do listen to your voice, many of them are going to become like you. We're not trying to make clones. We're making disciples. And each disciple has their own characteristic. Each disciple have their own path, which all of them are pointing people to the kingdom. But all of them don't have the same makeup. And lastly, trust the process. It may take you 5 years, 6 years, 7 years to work through things and get things in order and be an example, because first of all, your first ministry is going to be at your house anyway. You can't go out here trying to teach nobody anything and do anything. And I don't want to hear nothing about the prophet ain't welcome in his own home and all that other stuff. I don't want to hear that stuff. You can't make that claim. That's Christ's claim. Not only is that Christ's claim, but yet Christ was processed enough for when people who rejected him, he was righteous enough to make that claim. You can't make that claim about a prophet ain't welcome in his own home when you yourself still a babe and you don't even know what you believe. You swaying from doctrine to doctrine. Your wife seeing you sway from doctrine to doctrine. Your wife see you and see you ain't got, you don't have this thing together. So the greatest witness is you get yourself together. You get yourself in order. And then while they're watching you, you'll be modeling to them. More so than anything you can say out of your mouth, your walk and them seeing your process will become a model to them to trust you taking them from one place to the next. But yet so many brothers and sisters fail at allowing their walk to be a model and walking it out, but yet you want to walk it out and teach them at the same time. You're trying to get it and trying to teach them at the same time. That does not work. That don't work. Because as soon as you teach one thing and you find that it's wrong, then you got to drag them along too. Now they confused. They confused. The greatest thing you can do as a babe is two things. Sit down and be quiet. Go through your process. Learn behind the scenes. And then when it's time, when you work through all your mess and you got all of the garbage and the junk out of the filter, then you sit your wife down and you start showing her. Because she's going to begin to show the kids. Then once the family core got it together, then you can teach others. But it starts at your home first. It don't start in the world first. It starts in your home first. That's where it starts. So those are the 4 or 5 points that I wanted to bring out. We've been on here for a while. Good morning, Pastor Kelly. How you doing? Shalom, cuz. We've been on here for a while. And we're going to get ready and get ready to log off, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. I hope this helped so many babes, because that's the problem. It's a major problem. Okay? It's a major problem. All right? Is Brother Ozza? Ozza, you there, man? Ozza, you still there? Ozza, let me know if you're available. I don't know if you're at work or not. Let me know if you're available, Ozza. If you're available, Ozza, send me a request to come on. I think Ozza might have got off. I think he worked in the morning. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Ozza, if you're available, man, send me a request. Send me a request. I'll bring you on real quick. I saw you adding something. I got about like 5 minutes, huh? What's going on, Brother Sean? All right. I'm about to get ready to roll. I think my brother Ozza might be busy right now. But hey, man, shalom to you all. Okay, Ozza. Well, I definitely holler at you another time. Shalom to all of you, man. I love all of y'all with the love of Christ. Again, I hope this really helped you. This is something that is very well needed for a lot of brothers and sisters, man. They need to hear this and know this, because it will save you a lot of time of making enemies around within the people, um, within those who you're supposed to reach, from your pastor to your family. It needs to start at your family first. Well, it needs to start with you first. You need to go through the process first. All right? You have to send it to me. Okay, hold on, Ozzy. What's
Yo,
good, my beloved Christian Israelite brother?
what's happening, bro? I'm walking up the steps. I'm like, oh man, what's going on with you,
I
bro?
know it wasn't a earlier announcement, but I saw you making a comment, and I know you very well balanced and whatnot, and so I just wanted to
Right.
give you go ahead and give you a room, man, to go ahead and shed some light. I know you deal with a lot of the youth at Israel of God and things like that, so definitely wanted to give you
Hmm.
on this platform and give you time to speak to the people. I have like 5 minutes to just kind of add on or get some more wisdom before I get off of here.
Well, what you were saying, man, is definitely true because I used to be one of them. When I first came into the truth, yeah, you get mad. I mean, first of all, can you hear me clearly with these things on?
Yeah, I can hear you, Cliff. You good?
Okay. Yeah, you get mad at first, and what you did is something that definitely needs to be done. I might even make a lesson out of it myself because there's a lot of people that comes in, they come into the truth, and that's the first thing. You get mad
Mhm.
because when you were first talking, you were talking about the zeal, and I was like, yeah, but they got to deal with the anger too, because once they realize they've been lied to, they immediately blame the white man. And that's the problem with the other Hebrews. That's the problem. The other Hebrews like keep continuing teaching.
Yeah,
And so become balanced because we understand that we know that the Lord wrote this book for us in English.
right.
But the white man did this and the white man did that.
Hold on, I think Ozzy broke up. I think we kind of lost him a little bit.
The earth. You got to get that anger off of you.
There you go. Hey,
And then
Ozzy,
once you get that off, you start growing up a
Your
little
video
bit more.
chopping up. Your video chopping up.
Okay. Well, that happened.
So trying to make sure you're in a
Can
good
you hear
area
me
because
now?
you're bringing out some good points. Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like, once you get that anger up off of you for everybody, Esau, Gentiles, Hamites, Ishmaelites, I believe the Lord starts to open up your understanding even more because as long as you got that anger on you, you're not going to understand some things and then you're going to twist scripture like
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
You're going to twist scripture because you want it to fit your anger.
Yep.
And that's a big problem. But like I said, I didn't never twist scripture to fit uh the anger that I had at first. I just came at everybody like a tank.
Hmm.
I wasn't doing the wise as serpents. I was just coming at folks. And I even had some brothers, that I consider my elder brothers, even though we the same age. It was like, dude, calm down. You picking fights on Facebook all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but see, this got to be, And then, like you said, it took about a year, maybe 2 years for me to be like, oh, I see what y'all saying, because the reason I saw it It's because I saw younger babes doing what I was doing. And I said, okay, I see what y'all talking about now. So yeah, this is type one of those lessons, bro, that yeah, needs to be put out for young babes because again, they're gonna run after the pastor. Pastors are gonna even be like, oh, I'm so sick of this. You know, they gonna be so sick of this. I got all these new people that came to my church telling me what I should preach and what I shouldn't preach. So yeah, man, I'm glad you did something like this. It's probably gonna get me to try to do something like this as well, man, because the zeal is there, the knowledge is there, how to control it, that's the problem.
Yeah, I think there's something that, we need to talk to all of the spirit filled Hebrew brothers who understand, the responsibility of this revelation and things of that nature, to be able to, because there's a lot of brothers that's within the Christian church. A lot of them are now starting to have a dialogue and conversation. So, but I think it first starts
Hmm.
with the elders, the Hebrew elders, to be able to sit down and talk, um, you know, and say, well, listen, man, I think this is a focus of emphasis that we all need to kind of develop a model, almost like how
Hmm.
in the Christian they have like new members classes and stuff like that. But I think that it
Right.
needs to be something to that magnitude, because this is becoming a problem, man. And what happens is the rejection, the enemy can use it so many ways, and before they even get processed, they not only blackball themselves or kill their name, but then also you have the comedic stuff coming in, and you have them come in and sweep
Oh.
these babes up because they got rejected. And it's a whole nother level of thing before they can even get started, man.
Hmm. Yeah, it is a whole nother level, and you're right. The rejection can lead you to other things, not just Comedicism, but Islam, Buddhism. Because you already were hurt from regular false doctrine in the Christian community. Then you find out you an Israelite, and then you're so angry, and then you might get chopped up or cut up because of the way you're acting. Well, let me go over here to these brothers. You start uh, religious joy hopping
Yep.
or car hopping and stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely something that was good because again, I see it all the time too. And the reason I see it because I used to be it. I
It
used
makes
to
it
be
make you laugh after the father, turns your heart and cut some of them layers of keloids away, and soften your heart, man,
right.
and give you that level of compassion. It makes you laugh because you're like, man, I can't believe I was that guy. And then you're trying to talk to your
Yeah,
other
man.
brothers who've been in this a while, and then they start acting, they look at it as we being soft and we passive, or we love the white man, or we love,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like, nah, bro, I'm trying to save you from getting destroyed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because the Most
Well,
High gonna deal with
I
you.
tell brothers I tell brothers in a minute. I have no hate for nobody, and I love everybody. So if you say I love the white man or massa, you're right. You're correct. I'm trying to help save souls. That's all the job is. We're supposed to
That's
go out
it.
here and try to recover as many people as we're supposed to as priests of God. So if you
That's
mad
right.
because I'm up here teaching these white folks or Gentiles or whatever, Esau, whatever they want to call them, then you just gonna have to be mad, bro. For real.
Exactly. Like, man, come on. Christ ain't give none of us no mandates, especially he didn't tell none of the disciples who were clearly Hebrew. He didn't tell them go out and proclaim that the white man gonna get put to death, that the Asian man gonna get put to death. No, he said, go into the
Right.
world, make disciples of men, all right, and baptizing them.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless if you white, black, whatever it is, I have a responsibility to go out and make
Exactly.
disciples for the kingdom of the Most High God. That is it. And then, of course, I know they get
Mm-hmm.
mad at you for saying Jesus all the time. I know they get mad at you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing is, I tell them. But see, here's the thing too. Me and my partner, Mikael Ben Israel.
Yeah,
You saw us with vocab last week. We tell all. We cool with a lot of. Might as well just say One West brothers, but we tell them all the time. Listen, this is the name we call upon. We don't have a problem with you calling on whatever name you want to. But just don't start knocking me for calling on the name of Jesus, because
That's
after
right.
that, there's no more discussion.
That's
And,
right.
and there's brothers that respect that too. They respect it.
That's right. Well, man, thank you for having you on, man. And definitely, whatever whatever you need from me, man, if I can help, whatever it is, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, Israel of God, man. Really appreciate y'all, brothers, man, for standing on the side of the kingdom, and whatnot. And so we definitely need that, man. And to the younger babes, man, that's coming into this, I hope you take this information and this wisdom, and apply it to your life, so that way you can be used as a tool, and stop getting mad at your pastor because you just woke up 3 hours ago and you mad at him trying to tell him what he need to be preaching. Okay, like we need to
Right.
stop this stuff, man. But definitely,
And like you pointed out, that might not be his mission
that's
as
right.
your mission to teach what
That's right.
he might not, because again, everybody's blind in part. So nobody knows the whole entire truth. There may be something you may bring to him and he'd be like, man, I never thought about
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We lost Brother Ozza, but all praise to the Most High God, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, take this wisdom, and we definitely going to be down and try to come up with something, some type of kind of like a curriculum or some type of something. We need to put something together, to talk to a lot of the young brothers and sisters, so they won't become enemies to the church. They won't become enemies to their families. They won't become enemies even to God, because some of these things that they going out doing and the way they acting, you can also become an enemy to God by how you act. So we're going to definitely continue on. Go back, watch the replay. Some awesome information, some awesome wisdom. Thank Brother Isaac for coming on. Thank all of you for tuning in. All of the babes who are on here now. Take this. I'm definitely going to add this to my YouTube channel. So if you want to share it with family, friends, or anybody you know that's a babe, all right, and whatnot. So I'm going to add it to my YouTube channel. You can check me out on YouTube at It's Majors and the number 1. It's Majors, ITSMAJORS 1. And make sure you go and subscribe. All right, subscribe. That way you can get notifications when I upload videos. All right, I love all of y'all with the love of Christ, man. And see y'all Friday at Boom Atlanta. All right, grace to you.